Good stuff. We are back. We're back after our wonderful celebrations a couple of days ago. We all got very drunk. We are back to talk about Panzer Corps. And I like it that it's all framed within the 25th anniversary graphics, mood, celebrations that we are going to keep doing until the end of the year, with a lot of events about future stuff, about present, about past, about celebrations. And of course today is a sort of a recurring anniversary, because we've done this already last year for Panzer Corps, 11th of July 2011. It was the first, the release date of the original Panzer Corps. So Panzer Corps is now 14 years old. I'm here with Alberto, who has been you've been on Panzer Corps as a brand manager, yep. Right? You're now looking at the future of Panzer Corps as a business development. So he's been part of the team for a long time. So I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you, Marco.
We're all very stressed and very stressed about a number of things. So I feel this is a nice little, cozy,
it's a nice distraction.
It's a cozy thing that we are loving to do with all of you out there. So ask questions, make sure that you interact with us. We've got a lot in-house. We've got about half an hour before we kick off the official streams for the celebrations. And on this, we're going to sort of give you more details on what is happening on the Panzer Corps franchise in the coming months. We have a roadmap that we have showed at our anniversary celebration that we'll be sort of using a lot to explain what is happening on the franchise in the coming months. So first things first, we have now launched a new tournament for sign-ups. It's open for sign-ups now. We are using 4 new maps that are based on the Cyrenaica DLC. Very successful DLC, by the way, and those 4 maps are going to be free for everyone, so you don't have to own Cyrenaica to participate in a tournament. We have high hopes for this tournament because it's the first one we've done in a number of months, and we are also willing to revive the tournament subscriptions for this one. It's considering that Panzer Corps is the most played war game out there. There's a lot of players, lots of active players, so we want to be participating in big numbers in tournaments. And the first time we do a prize pool, a coupon prize pool for a tournament. So there's hundreds of euros of coupons to win. So make sure you sign up. And the title of the tournament, you'll find it on the slitherine.com/tournaments page, is something Cyrenaica. I don't know.
We don't have any note about it.
Oh, come on. What's the title of this tournament?
We'll find out.
Marcos write us the title of the tournament in the chat. We'll make sure we read it.
If he's even following us.
Of course he is. Of course. If he isn't, I'll be very angry. So this was important, an important announcement before we dive into the future DLCs of Panzer Corps. Let's dive into it, but just a short break before so we can prepare some stuff.
In the vast, unforgiving deserts of North Africa, you are about to face a fierce and decisive struggle for control. Welcome to Cyrenaica, the next chapter in the Panzer Corps II Frontlines series. 2 campaigns, 1 region. Play as both Italian and British forces across 2 unique and dynamic campaigns. During Operation Compass and Operation E, you will lead your forces in a relentless fight for supremacy. Command your troops in intense battles across scorching sands and treacherous terrain, where every advantage must be earned, and every mistake can be fatal. Master the art of warfare, strike fast, outmaneuver your enemy, and secure vital supply lines. Experience historical missions, launch desperate counterattacks, and execute daring offensives that will push your tactical skills to the limit. Conquer, defend, hold, and escape through missions with diverse objectives and gameplay mechanics. Every decision counts. Actions in one mission carry over to the next, impacting rewards and shaping future opportunities. Deploy powerful new units, manage limited resources, and adapt to the shifting tides of war. Panzer Corps 2, Frontlines, Cyrenaica. Available now.
I can still remember the days when we were arguing on how you pronounce Cyrenaica. Cyrenaica, Cyrenaica, who knows? Alberto,
Yes.
over the years we have launched quite a number of different types of DLCs for Panzer
different
Corps.
formats, yeah.
Can you go through them so that we can sort of remember and also go through these one by one?
Well, I hope that I'm not misremembering anything, but the first series was Axis Operations, which of course was a really long series, going through all the every single operation run by Germany during World War II, and particular ones as well. Then we started to experiment a bit. Well, of course, there was the frontline. Well, there are the frontlines type of DLCs. Focusing on specific operations or theaters, and then of course the war stories type of DLC, which are more, let's say, narrow and cozy type of focus, focusing on the more human character of the war and its protagonists. And then of course the latest installment is the Elite Ghost Division DLC, which is a new format for Panzer Corps 2. It's entirely new. It's once again a breath of fresh air because it focuses on single divisions or single units going through different stages of World War II. So this allows to, well, first off, to still have that kind of personal approach to your army and having a really units that you are attached to. But also it allows players to experience this system across many different years in World War II. So you have different units and different technology at your disposal.
It's interesting that over the years, we've had different teams or people working on the different types of DLCs. So, I mean, Kerensky has been an instrumental part of innovation throughout the series.
Yes.
He was, the first one to work on the linked campaign type of DLC with carryover. We've had, Bernd, who's been working on the Frontlines series. The guys at Vulcanite have been working recently on Cyrenaica, which is like a very historical focus, very a lot of accuracy there as well. Interestingly, keep experimenting, but also work with different teams that are able to bring different flavor and different types of approach to the DLCs. I think that's really
that's something that it's really important for Panzer Corps 2 because every single scenario designer or developer brings something new to the table, and having these different approaches keeps the game fresh.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So next up, we have, and I think it's a good time sort of to full screen the roadmap. The next thing we're going to talk about is this the future of the Elite, the Elite series.
Yes. So as you can see, well, there's not just the Elite DLCs there, but as you can see, we have 3 Elite DLCs lined up. I'm not going to tell you in which order we're going to release this, but we have...
Maybe because we don't know.
Yes, exactly. Well, actually, we have an idea, but we don't want to spoil that. Anyway, so we have one featuring some specific American units. I'm not going to tell you which ones because, well, once again, no spoilers. Then we'll have one featuring a very cool and iconic Soviet division. And then, once again, another very relevant and super important Japanese division. You know, that's something cool about the Elite series of DLCs. It also allows us to introduce new factions on the go and, you know, expand the rosters of available units and models very quickly without having, you know, to craft huge DLCs.
Yeah, I think one of the things we were saying at the celebration the other day was that, you know, Panzer Corps is already a huge game. You know, adding new stuff is always, it's not only a challenge, it's like, you know, bringing fresh units and fresh takes almost like becomes like a very big creative process that we need to, and Cyrenaica has been, you know, instrumental to that, I have to say. He's really push the limits of what can be done with the game. We've had, I'm talking about Cyrenaica sent us a message, and I've been you know, it's cool to see that, you know, he's so passionate about the series, and we've sort of taken some abstract of his message, and he's going to post it on the product page as well on Steam and everywhere possible. But I wanted to take a moment to really thank Cyrenaica for making, you know, giving a huge contribution since the very beginning. It's probably the one with the highest number of hours in the game, and so he's, you know, such I think an integral part of the past, present, and future of the game.
Panzer Corps wouldn't be recognizable without him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you, mate, and I hope to see you soon in the flesh, and get some opportunities to discuss about Panzer Corps and non-Panzer Corps stuff. Next up, we have something that's releasing in a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually, we never revealed the release date, but we can now, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, why not?
Should I say it?
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so Frontlines Westwall, if I remember correctly, it's coming out on August 19. Yes, I got you right.
Right.
I was worried for a second.
We prepared a graphic for this, so it's not that we're spoiling something. This was all prepared by Marco.
Yes.
Anyway. So Frontlines Westwall, what is it all about?
Well, once again, it's a Frontlines DLC, so of course it features a specific operation or part of a specific theater. In this case, it's the Western Front. We are in the second part of 1944, and the Allies are trying, well, and if the player plays correctly, they will pierce through the Siegfried Line, which was basically a heavily fortified line protecting Germany from any invasion coming from the West.
All right, so the idea here is that, again, focus on a very specific scenario and period, very specific you know, set of units as well. This has been developed by Bernd, so same as Frontlines. What was the other one he did? Bulge, yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, it's one that I think was really the first time we experimented with new ways of doing scenarios and linking stuff, and I think it was a very successful one. So yeah, take all the opportunities to get into it. That's the next thing that's coming out at the end of August. Will all be out in Germany, by the way, when this releases.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
An interesting,
that's
an interesting
nice
coincidence. Now, can we sort of just give a broad idea of what is next in terms of, we now have the time to discuss linked campaigns,
yes,
and, you know, DLCs with multiple releases in the same, So we have 3 in development. Again, I guess good time to sort of go back to the roadmap and give you the full screen.
Yes, so of course this is a feature or a type of DLC that has been highly requested by Panzer Corps fans. We've shown this a few days ago during our anniversary celebrations, but here it is again. And today we are going to give you a bit more details on what we have in store next for Panzer Corps. So where should we start? Maybe I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are curious about the Link campaign DLC in the Soviet Union. So I'll start from that. All right. So actually, we don't want to give a lot of details about that yet, but Panzer Corps fans will be happy to know that the original creator and designer of Soviet Corps for Panzer Corps 1 is back for making a series of DLCs, a linked series of DLCs featuring the Soviet Union, in which you play as the Soviet Union from start to finish of World War II. So that's the goal. That's what we have in store for that. And Sergei is going to do that.
Okay, that's very cool. And of course, as you were saying, this is this content map is not including dates.
Yeah.
We have a broad idea of when stuff is going to release, but we didn't want sort of to give too much of an official announcement on dates because then there's so much happening at the same time. Imagine that you've got a number of people contributing around the world, really, to the content of Panzer Corps, and then all this content has to feed into a single development team that has to work on it. So it's almost like having multiple pipes going into a central place, and that needs to digest everything and then to spit out. So we need to sort of make sure that we coordinate with all the teams to make sure that that all the things are releasing in a paced way, but also organized as well. So that's why we didn't want to announce things, because if something goes wrong with one, it impacts the other, and it's like everything is all over the place. And also because we had bad experiences announcing dates for past DLCs as well, so we don't want to
even the base game
exactly fall into that trap. So China?
Yeah, China. Okay, so this one is super interesting because I don't think that the Chinese theater has ever been featured in Panzer Corps before, and this is actually done by a very talented scenario designer from the community, but he has never done DLCs before. But we are super happy with how his Chinese trilogy, because it will be a trilogy, is shaping up. You're going to play, of course, as China and as Chinese forces, fighting against the invasion from Japan, and it's going to feature the entirety of World War II from the Chinese perspective. A very fascinating setting, rarely featured in video games, but actually it was super relevant, super important, and even longer than World War II itself, or at least World War II as the rest of the world sees it. Because for China, World War II started well before Europe, for instance, or America. So
yeah. It's an interesting scenario, and it's also showing the potential of using Panzer Corps for, I guess when we did the first DLC that came out for Panzer Corps, which was the Spanish Civil War one, if you remember, already showed that you can really adapt, but that was very much like, okay, about the same units, about the same setting, and so same age and so on. But this one will show a lot of new things, and of course new graphics, lots of new graphics for terrain and so on. So it's going to be pretty spectacular.
Yes.
And then the third one we wanted to cover. Is there? We have some guests for the third one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have
whilst we connect, let's give it a short break, and whilst we connect with our friends at Vulcanite. Here's the guest. The guest. Hello, Mattia.
Hello.
Hello, Mattia.
Hello, Marco. Hello, Alberto. How are you? Everything's fine.
Going great.
Doing great. Love the guitars on the back.
Yeah, it's the bass. I used to play bass. No,
Okay. Wow.
He's a
not
hipster.
no more.
You're like, are you playing something today?
No, no. I will talk only today.
All right. Alberto was saying that one of the things that people like the most is this idea of the linked campaigns and so on. And can you tell us what you're working on?
Yeah, sure. We are working on a link campaign composed by 3 DLCs, which is set in Italy. So after we worked on Cyrenaica or whatever, we wanted to portray a little more the Italian defeat. So we are running back, but this time from the Allies side. So basically, this DLC is composed by 3 DLCs where you play as the Allied from Sicily to the Alps in the struggle to conquer Italy and to push back the Germans and to liberate Italy at the end.
Awesome. So I would imagine that you will start with the liberation of Sicily, right?
Yeah, sure. The first DLC is completely set in Sicily from the landings by the Americans and the British forces up to the conquer of the island. So the first DLC is entirely set in Sicily, and it's pretty interesting as a DLC since there are a lot of fortified lines. The struggle has been very harsh in Sicily. So it will not be an easy task to defeat the Germans there.
Okay. In Operation Husky and in the subsequent operations to liberate Italy, there were many different allied countries taking part in it. Of course, the biggest ones, the largest forces were either American or British or from the Commonwealth. How do you intend to portray these in the DLCs?
Yeah, as you said, there were a lot of different nationalities in this warfare in Italy. It's pretty amazing to notice how many different countries were involved in this campaign. For example, we have Polish, we have Greek people, Free France, even Brazilians, even New Zealand. So we want to give to every nationality the possibility to shine in the warfare, meaning that as a player, you will encounter these different armies, and some will be carried over by the players, some will not. So maybe for the Canadians, which had a great role in this campaign, you can buy and carry over Canadian units. But maybe for the Brazilians who took part in important yet very localized actions, maybe you won't. But we want to give the player the chance to play with as many armies as possible.
Sounds great. And with so many diverse armies, are you planning on adding any new unit type?
Yeah, it's something we are looking into currently. We won't spoil anything right now, but yes, we want to focus on, I would like to say, more exotic units. As I said, for example, the Brazilians, but also the commandos and the rangers had a huge role in this warfare. For example, in the Sicily landing, there has been, or in Anzio as well, there has been a lot of airborne operations. So yeah, we want to give a little focus about that. We want to create new units. Panzer Corps 2 has a very, very wide range of units, but I think there is still space to create something new and something exciting as well.
Sounds great. Since we sort of chatted about this before, and I know that you have a keen interest in history because you also are a history graduate, I'm pretty sure that you went really deep into portraying history and showcasing many different aspects of the war. And the one I wanted to ask about is partisans. And I was wondering if you intend to portray partisans in this series of DLCs, and in what capacity?
Yeah, sure. Partisans, as we know, had a huge role in the liberation of Italy, in the northern part, but also in Rome and Naples. So yes, we want to give space to the partisans. We aim to, something we are thinking about is to manage them like the Spanish Civil War DLC did, as you mentioned before. So we are looking into it yet, but our plan is to give to the player the chance to somehow manipulate a third faction, which is not controlled by the player directly, to change the behavior and to give the feeling to the player that he's actually fighting as the allies, but with the support of the population and of the partisans. And beside that, an interesting, I guess, use that we aim to do, to have with the partisans is the partisans in the northern east part of Italy. So the partisans under Tito for the Yugoslavia, because in that warfare, it has been what has been called the race for Trieste, where the Allies and the Soviet bloc were trying to reach for first the city, the town of Trieste, and this is the beginning of the beginning of the Cold War. So it's something we want to portray in a very accurate manner.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, since you mentioned giving orders to Allied units, I was wondering, and this was also a feature present in the Spanish Civil War. I'm wondering, are you planning any particular feature to be implemented in this DLC other than this?
Yeah, of course. So more, we want to give an effort and a focus to commendation points. They are such a nice mechanic to have. We want to use them. We want to let the player to feel free to acquire new equipments, new units, and perks and traits. And then we also aim to, we are exploring ways to make the heroes more dynamic. So you can imagine the officers actually gaining unique skills or upgrades while they are fighting. They are acquiring experience. This is something which is still in development, but the goal is to create a deeper hero system that actually evolves with your campaign and your experience.
Awesome. So actually, one last question. I'm wondering, of the trilogy that you guys are planning and developing, tell me for each DLC, which scenarios you find most fascinating at the moment.
All right. So for Operation ASCII, which is the landing and the conquer of Sicily, I personally found very intriguing the Primosole Bridge and the Ponte Grande Bridge battles, because they have been fought by small brigades, and they featured mainly paratroopers against paratroopers, which is pretty unique, and so it's very interesting to portray it. Then going to the second DLC, which is set in the southern and central part of Italy, I guess the Monte Cassino battle is the main battle there. It has been featured in a lot of movies and books and so on. Everybody knows about that. It has been a huge battle, a very hard battle, and it was the breaking point for the German army. And then for the third DLC, which is set in the northern part of Italy, I personally find very intriguing the liberation of Torino, Genova, and Milan. So going back to the partisans and how they have been important for the liberation of Italy is something I very look into. It's very interesting to portray it.
Awesome. Sounds great. I'm looking forward to trying it myself.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Thank you very much, Mattia.
Thank you, Mattia.
Thank you.
Have a good summer of work on this amazing DLC.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So to finish off and leave the streaming schedule to you guys, I have a couple of more announcements to make. The first one is that today we have a sale going on for another week, actually, and for Panzer Corps Day, Panzer Corps will be featured on the homepage of Steam. I think it's the second time in its history, so it's a rare thing. So you'll be finding Panzer Corps directly on the homepage of Steam later today. Very proud of that. Very proud of bringing a war game to such big visibility. The whole series is up to 65% off now, so you can actually already have access to these discounts on the Slitherine publisher sale that will get a lot more visibility over the weekend as well. So make sure you take full advantage of that. That was the first one. Also, later today, we are releasing a patch with new scenarios, 2 free scenarios, 2 free maps that you're going to be playing. Why are these important? They are important because they are made by the creator of the China trilogy that Alberto was mentioning before. Vladimir has made two scenarios. One is the Neretva scenario, which is the first. This one is a scenario that explores the famous Yugoslav partisans, which I think were mentioned in the earlier chat by Mattia. So it's basically covering the Battle of Neretva River in 1943. And the other one is Targu Frumos, which is basically, I guess, close to Vladimir's heart because it's his home country and set in Romania, and it's depicting the second battle of Targu Frumos. It's again, I like that we are able to explore parts of history that are usually not very well known internationally and maybe well known in local parts of Europe, but not by everyone. So it's great that we are able to sort of deliver these and give them to you for free in this great anniversary. So thank you, Vladimir, for putting all this together. I have one last thing. Miki, can you show the streaming schedule? Here it is. So these are all, friends of ours and streamers and content creators that are going to cover Panzer Corps. Hexaboo, Dust Tactic, and Richard York are playing today on the Slitherine channel. Nerd Frag Fred, Helping Hands, and Dinkelbean are playing on their own channels. And Helping Hands is also playing on next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Big friends of ours, also big fans of Panzer Corps. And rightly so. Panzer Corps is a game that has so many fans around the internet, and we're very glad that we're able to sort of bring this legacy forward. We've got years of nice content ahead of us. With new innovations coming in, right? And hopefully also more hours of fun for all the war gamers out there. Anything you want to add?
No, I think you were very thorough.
No, thank you very much. We'll be going back to our daily stresses now. So thanks for following us, guys. Very, very good to see you coming in and giving your love to Panzer Corps. And I'll leave you to the live streams and make sure you are back. Next big appointment for the anniversary celebration is on July the 23rd with a special day with a preview of gameplay preview of RuneQuest, which we are doing a bit of recorded and a bit of live. So we're going to showcase RuneQuest in all its glory and doing a lot of insights about this marvelous new tactical strategy game, but with RPG elements, which I found really cool. And followed by the first episode of the Hot Seat, which is going to be our big show for all strategy games fans, not only for Slitherine games but for strategy games in general. So make sure you show up. We've got big guests coming. Ian, of course, our marvelous CEO, El Presidente, is coming to see you as a first guest of the show. But also we'll have the game director of Frostpunk 2 coming to the show as well. So make sure you show up July 23rd. And follow this channel so that you know exactly when and how. And we'll be waiting for you guys. Thank you, and we'll see you very soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye. Bye-bye.